Hi guys, I just wanted to hop on here, and my name is Samantha Pastor Yalong, and I wanted to just do like a little overview of what I normally do in my Zoom calls for those of you who are unable to catch me there or unable to catch me on my lives on Samantha Yalong Health on Facebook and Instagram, just so that you guys don't miss out, as I do love to share. But basically, I'm a mom of six, and I do have three dogs, and I am married to an adventurous man named Sunny. And um, after six kids and losing my brother Enzo, um, I gained about all the way up to 154 pounds. Now, I know that's not much, but what was going on inside me was where the problem lay. The heart problems. I had a heart, what do you call this? Besides my heart murmur that I grew up with, but it was a heart failure. They put a Holter monitor on me when I was pregnant with my number six, and only 30% of my heart was working. I know now that's molecular mimicry at its finest, working on my heart and trying to kill it slowly. And that's why I'm so passionate about sharing this, because I was able to just get rid of that problem, as well as the lung inflammation and the urticaria. Or when I touch things that are cold, my hands would itch. Your extremities, your toes and your feet are always the ones that get hit first, or maybe a loss of hair, or your nails going bad. And then the bloating, the inflammation, the night sweats. I'm 46 years old. So those problems, night sweats, hot flashes, all of those are finally gone. And it wasn't until I was marinating meatloaf for my family of six one day, where the meatloaf, of course, was cold, too cold, a little too cold because it came from the refrigerator. But I was marinating it, and then my left hand blew up like a Mickey Mouse hand, because it just all of a sudden, boom, it's got swollen, and I knew something was going on internally. And I went to the doctors for all these things. I have been in the hospital for the heart, the lung, couldn't breathe, all those things, and they never had answers for me. If they did have answers, it was in the form of a pill, and my mom raised me to go the natural route all the time, and I didn't want to settle for that. And so I started delving into books, and that's where I found my answers. And that's why I'm here today, just to share with you what I've read and what I've learned, that you don't need pills, magic pills, or bars or shakes to get rid of the health problems or the weight. And we can all live, wonderfully, and even till the age of 120, if little by little we just lift up all these endocrine disruptors. The first book that I got a hold of was Dr. Gundry's Diet Evolution, and I started reading him about 2.5 years ago. And just a summary of what he talks about is, um, number one, he shares a lot about lectins. And I'm going to go and itemize with you in a little bit what those lectins are. But another thing he also um, was adamant about was making sure that you let your body know that you're worth keeping. So if you have muscles, if you're taking care of your body, then you will not depreciate little by little. And the body knows when you're not worth keeping. Ever notice sometimes when the cancer gets you somewhere, then it moves to somewhere, then you take it out, then it moves to somewhere. It's like your body's killing you little by little. When you over exercise, if you're a runner, they're prone to heart attacks and brain tumors. Again, we're not under Gundry's book, we're not meant to be running for that long. If your body recognizes that you're the hunted, the prey, again, it'll slowly kill you little by little. That's what's happening with the tumors and the heart problems. And so those are the things he shares. And lectins are a very, very big part. And I did lose my first 20 pounds with this guy. Um, I also, the next one was bulletproof diet. And he's all about optimum brain, so that you're making smart decisions with everything and that you're present, and quality of life. And of course, he also talks about losing weight. And that's why I drink the DIY bulletproof coffee every morning. And then in the afternoons, I have the tea. Basically, I just mix MCT and grass-fed butter in my coffee or my tea. Sometimes I put flaxseed and collagen, and just for fun. And it satiates me and revs up my metabolism and keeps my brain at an optimum level too. And I'm trying to do this because I'm trying to have my first meal as lunch. Because Dr. Fung's obesity code talks about um, trying to have more of a distance with your meals. He says nothing was ever wrong in the 1950s with breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because you fasted breakfast, you fasted lunch, fasted, then you had dinner, let's say an early supper of until 6 o'clock, and then you fasted for a long time while you slept. So there was that long period of time you were not eating. And during that time, these fats are being released. There's a house cleaning that happens while you're sleeping. And while you're not eating, your glycogen level depletes, and that's where you can finally get to the fats. Um, anyway, there's so many books that I've read, even Sinclair's Lifespan, that teaches us that you can live till 120. It's all about just taking out all these disruptors that we take in through eating, smelling, and putting lotions and potions in our body, because our body is the largest, our skin is the largest organ. Ultimately, anything that you put in your skin, as well as smell, it all leads to the gut. And there is a gut brain connection, and it's actually connected by the vagus nerve. And that is why we're really ruled by our gut, not our brain. Um, I'll explain that in a little bit, but let's go back to the endocrine disruptors, which I call lectins. They're basically proteins that are attached to our food, drink, medication, and beauty and cleaning products, and they're in our environment. You could go into a store, and it has the the perfumes, and if you smell that chemical, it can bring that to your brain. Goes to your olfactory nerve here, it brings it to your brain. It has the ability to affect your emotions and basically your overall brain, and it brings it to your lungs, and it spreads it all over your body. And for me, it attacks my system, those chemicals. And the reason why it would attack my system is because was more of a percentage back then of large bugs than good bugs in my microbiome. We're always trying to make sure we have more good bugs than bad bugs, because bad bugs are the ones who tell you to crave, feed me salty and sweet, because they have the ability to climb up through the vagus nerve up to your brain and cause anxiety, depression, Alzheimer's, and those cravings. So knowing that, I make sure I take my pre and probiotic just to make sure that I'm populated with my good bugs. But I just don't take any, because sometimes you take the powder and it's so expensive, and you're just basically taking it in, and then your acids are digesting that, and then basically it's expensive poop. But the one I take is PB Assist. and it comes in a capsule that has the pre and the pro in it. The pre is the food for the probiotics. So it's time release. So the pre is released first, and then um, by the time the pro lands there, there's food for them to populate and grow and multiply. And you want to make sure that what you're taking is time release so that your probiotic lands in your large intestines where the war is, not just in your stomach where it could be digested and pooped out. You don't want to be wasting money. Um, I have it here in my coffee station so that I know as soon as I have my coffee, I have that next. But going back to the lectins, so I have about 8 of them that I just want to share because I do love to share this, because just trying to take out these disruptors little by little in your life, you can already are on your way to health without having to buy anything. So number 1 is fruits not in season. The reason why the Queen of England does not eat fruits not in season is because, for example, the apple, right now it's summer here in California, and apples are not in season. Why? Because the seed in the apple is still a baby. The mother, which is the apple, is trying to protect the seed by making sure that the whole apple is still filled with lectins. Not only is it green, so it's warning you not to eat, it also doesn't taste that sweet as it would be in the fall, because it's trying to signal, don't eat me, don't eat me, I'm not ready. Because the seed inside the baby, it's trying to protect that baby, and the seed is still soft. So just in case an animal ingests it, that animal will break down that seed with its acids, and then it won't be able to be pooped out and make an apple tree somewhere else. But when it's hardened, the lectins leave the apple, and then now it's sweet, and now it's red, appetizing to be eaten, because it's ready to populate to other apple trees in the future. Um, these fruits and also vegetables protect themselves. That's why um, another one is the uncooked cruciferous veggies. That's number 2 on my list, like the broccoli, cauliflower, spinach, kale, chard. Ever notice when you're eating a raw kale salad, there's that film in your teeth? That's the lectin. What Dr. Gundry and the other doctors advise is that you break it down by cooking them, so that you break down the lectins. You don't have to wilt them completely, the broccoli or anything. Just break it down so that you can get to the nutrients. Break down that lectin first. Nobody said you can't have it. The third one is nightshades, like fresh tomatoes, eggplant, um, potatoes, yellow bell peppers, cucumbers, anything that have seeds in them. The seeds in the skin have the lectins. That's why the Italians, they cook the tomatoes. They take out the skin and the seeds, and then they puree the flesh, and then they cook that for a long time. Again, they're breaking it down little by little, and so they can enjoy it for their pastas or their pizzas. That's how it's supposed to really be done, the old-fashioned way. It's just now that we just hi honey, go about it the faster ways. That's with our grains, oatmeal, barley, brown rice, quinoa, those ones. The brown rice, the husk has the lectin. Same with the quinoa. That's why the Aztecs, they soak them overnight and then cook them the whole day so that it breaks down the lectins. So if you're trying to take care of any joint pain or bloating or diabetes, cancers, or any inflammation or weight gain, try this. Try to reduce the number of lectins that you have, that you're taking, and then see how you feel and see how many pounds you lose. Just give it a go. And I mean, it doesn't hurt. It's for our health. And my idea is I really want to be a strong grandmother to the children that my 6 children will be producing, and I want to have fun with them, and I want my parents to also be strong and healthy, and I have them under this protocol too. And we just want to love on each other and enjoy each other. And if we can lift these things little by little and not ingest them, our body has been made beautifully so perfect that we can cure ourselves. It's just that we have so many disruptors, um, making it impossible for our bodies to cure itself. But if we just lift them one by one, these lectins, um, you can. I mean, there's viruses out there, there's bacteria. Of course, God made us say thyme, oregano. Oregano is a natural antibiotic. So when my kids are sick, I just give them the straight oregano in an essential oil. I put it inside a veggie cap and then they swallow it. And that's the natural antibiotic that God has for us naturally. And so let's go back to the lectins. I already told you about the fruits. I already told you about the gluten, which is the grains, the oatmeal. Oatmeal is the heart healthy seal is a paid seal. It's not really heart healthy. They feed corn and oatmeals and barley to pigs and cows, and we to make them gain weight, and we don't want to gain weight, and so we shouldn't be eating those either, especially now that they're genetically modified, even worse. And I know that there's a lot of the gluten is now the star child in America today. But really, the mother is called lectin, and gluten is just one of her children. Gluten just gets a lot of the spotlight now, but really, there's the fruits not in season. There's the nightshades. There's the uncooked cruciferous vegetables. Another one is legumes, peanuts and cashews. I didn't know it, but they're not nuts, and they're part of the legume family. And beans, string beans, edamame, they're all very um, inflammatory. They cause a lot of inflammation. And Sonny, my husband, loves peanuts. His brothers love peanuts. His dad loves peanuts. And guess what they have? All three of them knee problems. I changed that bag of peanuts and switched it up with pistachios, and knee problems went away. Gout problems went away. With the soy sauce, instead of Kikoman or Filipino soy sauce, I changed it to cocoa aminos. And that's my husband working on his car outside. But cocoa aminos from Trader Joe's is made out of coconut. It tastes like soy sauce. It's just sweeter, so you might need to add a little bit more salt. But yeah, when we took that out, his everyday headaches went away. Being Filipino, we could put a lot of soy sauce, especially with Filipino adobo or, um, you know, fried rice with some soy sauce in it. But we mixed it out and the headaches went away. So again, it's just little by little taking out these endocrine disruptors. Another one is A1 dairy products. The cows here, I don't know about the cows where you live. Our cows, again, I said eat the grains, the oatmeal, the corn. They're no longer eating grass. And within, they don't eat what they're supposed to eat. They get digestive issues. In fact, they're sending truckloads of Tums to their feeding lots so that they can get, some sort of alleviate from their pains in their stomach. um, there's milk when they don't eat grass, has morphed, has mutated to the A1 casein hormone. So the milk that they're producing, we're all lactose intolerant to, but we're not lactose intolerant to the grass-fed cow's milk. So if you do want to have any dairy, have A2 dairy products. I saw them selling it in Walmart and Sprouts. And again, since these proteins, these animal proteins should be grass fed or pasture raised for the chickens, because you are the thing that you eat eats. That's why grass fed animals um, are also on the list. Artificial sweeteners are also on the list. If it wasn't made 100 years ago, it's not real sugar. Now, stevia is it is natural, but if you have any fruits or sweets first thing in the morning, it's going to set you up for a more hungrier day, because ultimately fruits are sugar, um, and even stevia, even if it's a natural thing, or like monk fruit, right? So if you are going to have that piece of chocolate, I suggest 74% and above cacao, and I suggest before going to bed, because it's going to send you up on that high, and so you want to crash so that you have a good night's sleep. um, the one of the other things on the list also is synthetic vitamins and supplements, and I know that fish oil goes bad, and so I am very picky when it comes to my vitamins and supplements. And again, for example, turmeric, instead of taking turmeric in some sort of, you know, pill that I don't think might be fully turmeric, it might just be 1% turmeric, I just prefer to take the whole the turmeric in an essential oil form. I just put it again in a veggie cap, and it's an essential oil form, so it's 70 times more powerful than herbs, and I know it's gonna really do its job for inflammation, for overall health. So basically I take a multivitamin trio. These, again, it's just here by my coffee department so that I can remember. This one is the EO Omega. It's in essential oil form. It has frankincense for cell renewal, and it has copaiba, it has wild orange, it has the ability to affect my mood, and also alpha CRS, which is a cellular vitality complex. It renews all my cells, and it has the microplex VM. So all three of these I take. It takes care of my lungs, my heart, my eyesight, the whole 9 yards. It has everything from A to Z, all the B's, all the marine collagen, and I love that it has marine collagen because, again, I'm trying not to have so much protein from cows, because too much protein actually ages you. So little by little, as again, I'm 46, so I'm trying to lessen the amount of protein I have to a palm size every meal. It should be more vegetables and then less meat, because it takes a lot of energy to digest that meat, and your body really, really wants more of the glycogen and the good fats from the vegetables. Anyway, so that's what I take, because also, you know how our DNA is like is braided? Well, the edges are called telomeres, and they're actually like shoelaces that are long, but the ends of the shoelaces, you know how they have a plastic on them? Well, as I age, the shoelaces, they fray, and when they're frayed, your cells are unable to renew the way my 8-year-old cells renews her skin. Pretty soon it renews with brown spots, even if you're not under the sun a lot, and it renews with fine lines and wrinkles. So because the telomeres are frayed. So if you're going to be taking any vitamins, it should be something that's fixing you on a DNA level, on a telomere level. I love that this has resveratrol in it, because again, it's fixing my telomeres to be taut. so that it can replicate my skin the way it used to. Um, that's the beauty of these vitamins. And, you know, it has frankincense. They didn't give it to Jesus for nothing. It's for cell renewal. It basically takes care of everything from my brain health to, I even put it on my fine lines and wrinkles. You know, why buy something that has chemicals again that my skin's going to drink up and bring to my gut? Um, and it wouldn't be um, the real thing. Why not just buy the real frankincense? Or, you know, those products that say rose infused? Why buy rose infused when you can buy the real rose, right? I have here rose. And what's nice is when I put this on my face, it's also taking care of my overall health. Hi, Bellini. You're putting the butter. Thank you. She just made, what did you just make? Grilled cheese sandwich for her snack. She's learning how to cook on her own. All right, so that now that I told you about how lectins can come in internally, there's two more ways that they can come in. Is through smelling them. So I no longer clean with chemicals. I clean with water and vinegar. And when that's already diffused, I diffuse, let's say, wild orange or lemon, anything that will make my house smell good. And what's the beauty about wild orange essential oil is when you smell it, it goes to your olfactory nerve and it brings it to that emotional part of your brain, the limbic system. And it affects your mood, it makes you happy, and it also brings it to your lungs, and it has an ability to affect all the cells. The beauty about the essential oil is since it's an oil, your cells are also have an oily membrane, and so the cell penetrates the oil penetrates through the cell. So if there's a virus inside the cell, the only way you're going to get it is through something that is oily, like an essential oil. So if we're fighting any sickness or any troubles in the house, we don't go to the doctor anymore, unless, of course, it's life and death. Of course, we need medicine for that, and we need doctors. I'm not against them, but if I can be the mommy doctor at home and try to cure it at home naturally, so that it saves us money too, then much better. So now that I've told you how we eat the lectins and how we smell the lectins, we also put it in our oil serums and our lotions and potions and our hair dyes. That's why I have gone natural since this COVID pandemic, and I couldn't go to my hairstylist. And so I just had my teenage daughter cut my hair, and here we go. I've had white hair since I was 9, and it's about time that I finish adding lectins to my body, since you know the end goal is to be a healthy grandmother and to enjoy my family. And so why would I stop? Why would I want to ingest it if I'm just putting it on top of my head and having all my skin seep it and get it to my microbiome? You know, because our microbiome, the lining is so very thin that it's so easy to poke holes in it. And what happens is when you, it's like a railway system there, you know. There's a system here, there's even a memory system here, just much like the brain. That's why they were one, and when they separated, when we were forming, they have their system of memory and fires and railway systems. The same with our gut biome. It's just that they're called different things, but they're the systems in there, it's easily penetratable. And when there's holes in it, the undigested food gets into those railway systems where it's taking it to your body all around, you know, your blood system and stuff. That's why sometimes you get eczema or itchy back or itchy skin here and there when you've eaten something that's an inflammatory because of the leaky gut. That's what they call it. Um, so there, I just wanted to share that, and I wanted to share obesity code. What he talks about with that end in mind, the lectins, is when you're sleeping. Dr. Gundry talks about it too, is when you're not eating and when you're sleeping, there's a part of your body that goes to bed and there's a part that wakes up to do spring cleaning. And what happens is these lectins are endocrine disruptors. They disrupt your hormones. They park. There's a parking issue. They park where the food is normally supposed to be parking. Let's say arugula, broccoli, kale, cooked of course, but they park there and they're supposed to leave the goods and then leave, and then you poop out the rest. What happens is these lectins, they park, but they don't leave. They just wreak havoc into your hormones, causing the hot flashes, the bloating, falling hair, you name it. You know, cancers, diabetes, heart problems. And so they just wreak havoc and they don't leave. What happens when you're sleeping is these lectins are cleaned out one by one. So the better sleep you have, the better. That's why I do everything that I can to get to bed. You know, I slather on lavender, again in an essential oil form. Slather it on here, and then I diffuse lavender. I even take in a lavender blend called Serenity, and I even put copaiba sometimes when it's, you know, right now because of the pandemic and everything that's going on, it's harder to sleep with all these things that we're thinking about. So sometimes I just need a little bit of help. I also put copaiba under my tongue. And because I know what happens while I'm sleeping, I lose weight, I get healthier. So I do everything in my power to get there. Another thing that Dr. Fung says is weight loss is hormonal, not caloric. And so now that I know it's not about counting calories, and now that I know it's about not eating the lectins, I spend most of my time balancing my hormones. I also know that it's not about exercising. So if I do exercise, my end goal is to build muscle. And so I'm doing planks, I'm doing stretches, but I'm also resting. Exercise is meant to be done once to twice a week, twice if you've had good sleep, because the recovery is when you build the muscles. As soon as we get our periods, girls, our bones start deteriorating. So the end goal is to build muscles to hold the bones. And again, when you have muscles, you're telling your body you're worth keeping, so that you don't slowly kill yourself. So another thing also is there's this thing called a body set weight. My body set weight after 6 kids and losing my brother Enzo was set at 154. And if I had a buffet at a party, I would gain weight. But then since my body set weight was at 154, my body would rev up my metabolism so I could go back to 154. But every time I diet and I exercised, I ate little and exercised more, I would lose weight. Dr. Fung says he gives any diet and exercise 6 months, but it's not about dieting and exercising because your body set weight, remember my body set weight was set at 154, it goes back to 154. And in fact, because you dieted and exercised, your metabolism slowed down. So sometimes when you go back to your body set weight, it even overshoots and then we get frustrated, right? So now since I know it's all about hormones, I put Yarrow Palm under my tongue. It stabilizes my hormones. It's also my fine lines and wrinkles. Um, you know, because it has yarrow and pomegranate, so I can have it, and anything and everything to just calm my hormones down, because it is all about your cortisol level. When your cortisol level is low, you're okay. Because when it's higher, your insulin resistance goes higher. And when your insulin resistance goes higher, you keep the weight. And we don't want that. Now that I know that I'm focusing on my hormones, muscle building, lowering cortisol levels. So I now spend a lot of time with girlfriends to just take a little bit, the you know, just to relax a little bit, or cuddle my kids right about this time. Anyway, those things. I'm getting a call. Hi, Saxon. Can you call Bailey? Because Bailey's bringing Sabine to soccer. She did? Okay, let me call you back in 5 minutes. Okay, I'll tell Bailey. Okay. All right. Bye. Okay, it's time for mommy to go and time to start winding down for the day. And I love just sharing this. There's so much more, but these are the things that I love talking about, because if you lost 40 pounds and have kept it off, wouldn't you want to share to the whole world, especially since it's free? I just love sharing. And Gundry also says that weight loss is 4 years. True weight loss is 4 years. So I'm only 3 years into this, and I need you guys to be part of my journey so that we can help each other. And a lot of my girlfriends have already been losing weight. My friend Holly has lost 35 pounds, and she's looking amazing. So her and I are walking side by side, and my other friend Luann is also doing this. So it's pretty fun when we're doing this together, and it's even more fun since we're not breaking the bank doing it, right? And now that we know the key things to watch out for, those lectins, harmonizing those hormones, not over exercising, just making sure our cortisol level is leveled, all those things, just, you know, being with our people, being happy, and just living a wonderful life. That's what I want for everyone, and that's why I can't share this enough. I open my Zoom twice a week, Wednesdays and Fridays, 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm in California, and I streamline it live on my Instagram and Facebook under Samantha Yalong Health. And of course, every time I don't have a key set thing to talk about, so we just talk about anything under the sun. Sometimes I share recipes. I post sometimes what I eat there daily. But it's a journey, and I hope that you'll join me there and continue. And if you ever want to know about the supplements I'm taking, um, or the things I'm putting on my face, or the things that are making my mood be happy, or making my kids concentrate in school, because I also put it under temples so that they can concentrate in school, since they're all homeschooling starting today, all in one roof. Let me know. I'm happy to answer all questions, and I'm devoting twice a week to do this, because it's my passion to share. All right. Thank you again for listening to me, and hope you guys have a good rest of the week. All right. See you guys.